Hello and welcome, this is Cara, and today I am showing you how I made my folio for the collaboration and challenge, hashtag Lavender and Lace. I'm laughing because I keep getting it wrong, and I wasn't the one that came up with it, but it's Lavender and Lace, and it's a challenge going on in Cara, Brandon, and Friends, LineDotArrow, and Haystacks Crafty Corner. So I'm very excited. And to kind of kick off the challenge, both Nathalie and I are going to have freebies in, I'm not sure where she's posting her freebie, so make sure to check out her video because she'll show you where you can get her freebie. I'll have links below where you can get this freebie, which is a collage page, which is perfect for making the base of the folio. And in the junk journal kit, I have another collage. And in Nathalie's kit, LineDotArrow's kit, she also has collage. So that's perfect for making a folio. All right, so here is this week's freebie for the challenge. And I'm going to show you how I made this. Well, let's see if I can do it. Fun little folio. Just give you a little look at what we're going to be making. It has envelopes, and then I also used a craft letter-sized file folder, 2 of them, which I'll talk about. Has pockets and flips, another envelope. So yeah, super fun. So stay tuned and we're gonna make this. Okay, so now let's work on making the base of our folio. We're gonna start with 2 letter size folders. You might want 3 just in case you make a mess up. I've used quite a few folders just to get the right measurements. And let me kind of show you what it's gonna look like. So this is going to be the front of our folio, and I'm going to have one of those tie things that will kind of open this up. Everything's paper clipped, so it's going to look kind of funky. And then you open it, and we're going to have one of the long envelopes with a window, and then a plain envelope here, and this will flip, and then that will flip up, and then this will open, and here, this will be a flip, this will be a flip, back here will be a pocket. We'll have a pocket over here, and then this will flip up, and behind there is an envelope. Looks a little crazy, but I'm going to hopefully break it down so it's not too bad. All right, so the first thing we need to do is make the base of our folio. So we are going to use 1 file folder for that. And the very first thing is we're going to take it and where there's the score line for the folder, we're going to bend that over so it's like this, and then this will be the spine of our folio, and then we're going to open it up, and we're going to go from this furthest score line like that all the way over to 6 inches. So we're going to measure this 6 inches and then cut. Flip it around, do the same thing on this side. Hopefully can you see my, yeah. So 6 inches from this score line and cut like that. And then we have a very long kind of ledger looking piece. And then here we're going to flip it so that the middle is going in the center. And it's going to be longer than your cutting paper cutter, but it should be okay. And we're going to go over to 10 3/4 of an inch. Inch is right there, and I line it up. There's 10 1/2, 10 3/4. And we're going to cut this. So now it's a little bit shorter, and then we're going to scoot this in, go to 2 inches. This time we're not going to cut. I'm going to take my blade out of the way so we have room. We are going to score at 2 inches. And this is what will become the pocket. All right. So now it's scored. Get this out of the way for a second. So now we have this, and we have the score line at 2 inches, and we're going to fold this up. So that becomes our pocket, and then we're going to trim this section out. So we're trimming what is the spine out, so you don't need that. And there is the base of our folio. All right, so then we can set this aside, and now we're going to work on the front of our folio. Just making sure I got my height right. There we go. So we're going to work on these flaps. So you're going to take your second folder, and we're actually going to flip it so that we're dealing with the back of the folder. I'm going to take it and go to 8.5. 8, and it does, I guess it doesn't matter front or back. 8.5, and I'm going to cut. Excuse me. And so now we have this with the little funky part, and then it opens like this. Yeah? And we're going to cut this in half. I'm going to save this piece for a minute. So now we have our 8.5, and we cut our folder in half. And I'm just going to trim off that little part that's sticking out like that. Okay, so now this is, well, this side should be 8.5. Yeah, so this is 8.5, and this is almost 8 3/4, almost. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to line these up and fold this in half. Like that. And I'm just going to burnish that down. Okay, and so we took that piece, fold it in half. And then we're going to go, so our fold is going up. And I am going to line this up, and 1 inch from my score line, I'm going to cut. So it's like this. Okay? And this is going to be the bottom part that folds out like that. And then we're going to take this piece, and we're going to score this. I'll do 1 inch. You can see what I did there. Let's do 3/4 of an inch. Just to make sure that it hangs over enough. So again, long ways, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to score. And then this will be our part that we glue down, and this will be the part that goes like this and folds up and folds up. All right, so far we have our base, and then our little pocket like that, and then this will fold up, and then this will fold up. So far so good. And then that is when we're going to take our envelope, and I just clip it here so I can remember this is where I want it to go. Your envelope can be shorter, taller, as long as it's not wider than this piece, it will be fine. And then I'm going to use a envelope with a window, but if you don't have one, that's fine too. I'm just going to kind of stick this in here, and then I know that's where that's going to go. And then, like I said, I kind of just paper clip things on so I can remember. All right, and then we open it up, and then that's the middle of our folio. So far, so good? Are we hanging in there? All right, so then we've done our cover, and then in here, I'm gonna have, let me take this off so I can show you. This is gonna flip up, and then this is gonna flip up, and then the pocket will be back here, okay? So that's the next part we're gonna do. And to do that, we're gonna take this other half that we have, just making sure. All right, and then I'm gonna fold this in half again, like that. And then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to trim. What did I trim off before? One and a half inches. So let's take the shorter end and we'll go to 1.5 inches. Did you see what I did there? Fold it in half, and because I'm going to use this as my part that I attach, since it has this knockout, I'm going to flip it and then measure it at 1.5 inches and then cut it. And so then this is a flip up and a flip up, and then this will become our way to attach this to our folio. So we're going to score this. Try and kind of get it in the middle. I'm going to score that right down there. And then this will attach like this. And I'll show you. This will already be attached. So we're going to add this and this. Our pocket will be glued down. And then this will fold up and fold up. All right. So then we're going to keep these pieces together. So many little puzzle pieces. And so I'm going to put that with this and then my little foldy bit all together. Get a paper clip. And keep that together. All right, so far so good. And then we're going to work on this side. And over here, we're going to have a flip and then an envelope. All right. And to do this, we have a piece that we've cut off somewhere. I don't remember where it came from, but we should have it. And I'm going to cut this part off to kind of even it up. And then I'm going to fold, and this can be wherever you want, and this is going to become a pocket. Pretty sure that's what I did. Yep. So this will be a pocket, and then it can fold up, and then this will be here, and then that will fold up. All right. And then this piece that we cut off, this is going to be how we attach it to our folio. So again, I'm going to take this, kind of eyeball the middle, and score. And this will be the piece we use to attach it to our folio. All right. So then we have all of the bits and pieces. Oh yeah, and I need one more envelope, which I'll grab. And then we kind of have the base. All right. So then from here, we want to mat our pieces. All right. So I'm going to go get some pieces cut and I'll show you the matting. All right. Before I start doing the matting, I thought it'd be a good time to show you. This is today's freebie. Someone's going to call it a Friday freebie. It's really the Sunday freebie for the challenge. And I think this will be a perfect page to use to mat the folio. Now, if you didn't want to purchase all of this, I mean, you could print this out several times and, you know, different pieces at different parts, and I think it'd be really cool. And then Nathalie from LineDotArrow, she also has a freebie, and I think hers is a collage sheet as well. So you could use both of those to kind of help mat your folio. All right, now I'm going to go get pieces cut. All right, so I thought maybe I should show the first one, and then I'll do the other ones off camera. That might be helpful. So I'm taking the freebie. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the border. I forgot to print this one with the borderless printing. No worries, we can just go in really easily. There we go. And then let's see, 4 1/4 by a little over 8 1/2. All right, so I'm going to do 4 inches. How about, let's see what happens at 8 1/4. Oh, that's perfect. It's like 8 1/2, so this fit. Of course it's 8 1/2, Cara. It's the size of the paper. Yeah, that's not bad. I should have gone it's a little bigger, but I think that's okay. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. And that looks cute, like that. And then we'll just find our glue. We can glue this on. Maybe try gluing it on straight. That'll be a thing. That's pretty good. All right. And I don't think I'm going to worry about this hinge because it will be hidden, but I will do the same on this side. So let's see. What was it? 4 inches, right? Yes, we'll do 4 inches. There we go. Glue this on. Like that. All right, and then we'll take, where is it? Our front little flappy part. Oh, that is almost perfect. So this is how wide? 2 1/2. So let's do 2 1/4. I want the woman, so I'm gonna flip it over. And that's 2 1/2. And line it up, 2 1/4. Make sure it's going the right way. The flap's going to go this way, so I need this on the right. And I think there's that on. Oops. Okay. Cute. So then this will go on here like this. You know what I'm just realizing? We are going to want to punch a hole because we want a little tie thing. So let's put that hole now, and this hopefully can I pull this up a little bit? Ah. Yeah, so I would want to do the punching of the hole prior to gluing it. Now, we could get fancy, we could do a magnet, or we could do a fun closure deal. What do we think? I say a fun closure deal because it doesn't overlap that much. So I'm going to get my crocodile. The front one doesn't matter, it can go through the paper. It's the back area that we kind of want. All right. So I'm gonna go, let's go a full inch maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna eyeball it and I'm gonna put a hole 1 inch. And then we'll be able to put a brad here. I'm not gonna glue that down just yet. And then this one, I'm gonna mark. Maybe we put a hole right here-ish. So that is, we'll just say a 1/2 inch. Go into a 1/2 inch. And we'll punch a hole here. All right. So then I need my brads. Okay. I have my 2 brads. I'm going to use, since it's being made out of file folder, I'm going to use my file folder as my reinforcer, my holes. And then I'm going to punch a smaller hole, kind of guess where the middle is. You could measure, but I am not. And then, that looks good. And then we can take our brad. We can attach this. We can ink our edges also. I'm going to fold this down, and then we can glue this back down. Just like that. A little glue where I ripped it. I have to do something there. My glue got a little funky there. All right, so there's that. And then let's add this one. I almost used the text, but that actually looks kind of cool. Then we'll do this. This, and then we'll cover this, and that will look beautiful. And then here we go. It'll go like this, and then we can have our little tie. I'll do something about that, but yeah, not bad. One thing I didn't do, if you want to ink your paper edges before you glue, you might want to do that. All right, so I'm going to continue. I don't think there's anything else funky like this fastener, so I'm going to go ahead and add my mats, and I will be back. Okay, as I was getting my papers cut, I realized I wanted to have an envelope flip up here. And that was after this was already dry and glued on. So what I did is I took my envelope and I trimmed off the part of the flap of the envelope. So I have just a little bit here, and then this will still flip. And now I can go in and add washi tape, or I can take another page and cover it. And because this is collage and this is collage, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. So I can measure, let's see how long this is, 6.5 inches. And this is 3.5 inches. So if I wanted to cover it completely, I could. However, I think I'm going to actually cut this here and then do the washi tape thing, because I don't want this to be bulky when I fold it. Does that make sense? All right, what did I say? 3.5. So I'm going to do 3.25 and 6.25. So 3.25. This darker part. 3.25. Trim off the white part. And 6.25. So there, 6.5 and 6.25. And this will go just like that. And then if I want this to be a pocket, I can, or I can glue it. I'm not totally sure. And then I think some washi tape right there, or even little fabric or something would look cute right there. All right, so that's what you do, or an idea of what to do if you mess up a little bit. All right, continuing with this pocket, I've added a piece in here that so you can see if you lift it up. And then I'm going to reinforce this edge with washi tape, and then that's going to be the same washi tape I put over here. And then I think it will make it all kind of tie in and coordinate. All right, so let's see. I'm going to add, just because this is older washi tape, I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. Try and get it half-ish. Half-ish and straight-ish is the goal. And we'll try. And trim. Fold this over. All right, I'm also going to add a thumb notch. Kind of see where I want that. looks good. Oh, dog's shaking. And then we can take this, go right down here, stick it on. Take that on, and then, oh, I still didn't get the corner. I'm going to take my little X-Acto cutting tool. This is a slice, actually. And I'm going to, oh, carefully follow. Just like if you're a planner girl and you need to trim the washi tape in your planner, same idea. So I'm just adding a little bit of pressure. There. It's a little bit right there, but I don't think that looks so bad. Right? And then when we put this here, it looks good. Cute. Washi tape sticking everywhere. And I'm going to ink. Glue this on. I'll add the glue here so I don't mess it up. Cute. That works, right? And then this is a pocket, and it still flips, and that looks okay. All right. Problem solved. There's always a way. All right, I'm going to keep going, and I'll be back. Okay. I've added my insides. Those are pretty easy to do. I didn't have to go all the way down because those are going to be pockets. And so this is the front, this is the front of the folio, but this is kind of the front of it. And I'm adding this flip now. And what I want to do is make sure that my hinge, we're going to mess up I'm going to try and remember now. So I'm going to add this hinge to this before I add the paper. All right. And I'm okay with it not being as tall as, excuse me, as the paper, but if that bothers you, you can cut another strip that goes the length of the file folder. All right, so let's I'm going to use red line tape would probably be a good one because it's going to need to be pretty sturdy. I'm going to see how the glitter glue does. I'm going to add this to the front. And I'm going to make sure that it has enough room to fold over folio. So it's not, what is that? 1/8 of an inch, just a smidge, right? So that it has enough room so that we can then glue this here. I'm going to add glue over this part. I'll smush that on. Make sure I am lined up. And then I'm going to clean up my mess. I'm drowning. Just going to burnish this on. And I'll burnish this side. Oh, that looks pretty good. And so now this will flip and this will flip and the pocket will be back here. All right. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my border, or, paper here, 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 and here. And I'll show you that in just a second. All right. But I would show you where I'm at. I've covered the front, matted the front. And then we have attached to this, and then so that attachment is under there, and then this one was under there, so I've matted this layer, this one, this one, this one. And then with the pockets, I decided to do a little angle because it was kind of catching. So I went ahead and cut an angle. And then that meant, since you could see where the angle was, I added a little strip of paper. I also added the spine. So I'm trying to go, you know, like a 1/4 of an inch around as my border. Some places I did that, and some places I glued it too low, but you know. And then the same thing here. So what I did with this is I cut it, I guess it was 2 inches. Well, no, it's like 1, anyway, 1 1/4. And let me show you what I did to get the angle. So I took my piece and I lined it up. So this is what, 6 inches and 1 3/4. And I put it where I wanted it. And then I folded this and I folded this to get my, where I wanted the angle to be. And then I took this over here to cut. And it's hard to see, but I lined up where my fold is, and then I went over, I eyeballed like a 1/4 of an inch, and then I came back, and then that will line up like that. And then I did the same thing on the other side. I kind of eyeball it, and then smush it over, and there we go. So that's what I did for that. And that's going to go there. And then I remembered to glue in this fold, the envelope for this fold. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add this one that's going to flip up. And somewhere, here it is. Sure making a mess of things. And then this is going to go here and glue there. And I don't need this wide, so I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Maybe that's, what is it? 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so let's glue this front part on. Again, I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. I can get here, flip it over, and then glue this back here. Make sure it's kind of where I want it to go. And then we want to burnish. Over again, and burnish this side. And so now this will flip, and this will flip, and this will be a pocket. All right. The other thing I did was I took these pieces to my sewing machine and I did the stitching around here, and I was careful to stitch right here. Did some zigzag in there. I think that looks cute. And around that one. And then I was messing around, I was looking at this, and I do think this is a little too close to this top flap. So we'll have to see how it works once we get it put together. And we may have wanted to move it further down. And if that's the case, we'll have to figure out something. All right, and the other thing is, I didn't glue this far right side down all the way because I remembered that I want to tuck this in. So I did leave this up, so that when I'm ready, I can come back and glue that, and that will just tuck right under there. And then this one, did I remember on this side? Ooh, I did. Look at me go. And this one will tuck under like that. All right, so it's coming together. And then this guy is gonna go in here. How many pieces? Like that. And then I need to decide if I want this to flip or if this is just gonna stay and be a pocket. I haven't decided, but that's gonna go in there. And then flip it open, and we have that so far. I just did this. So I need to mat these and my envelope and this back and this spine. So that's what I have left, and I'll be back. Okay, I am done matting everything, and I did stitching around everything. So this is what it looks like so far with the stitching. And I left some tails on my strings. We'll see if that bothers me or if it's okay. I did sewing around the pockets, so I haven't glued those down. I haven't glued this pocket down. There's that and that. Oh, I missed a pocket, so I'll have to go do that. But yeah, so far, that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to glue this out towards the edge. Turn this into a pocket. There we go. And I will glue this one down, and then I'll go make sure to sew that. And glue this side, and glue this side. Stick that down. And then, let's see, we can add our front. Oh, and the other thing I haven't done, I just thought of, is this pocket. Oh no. Oh, Cara. Oh my goodness. Do you see what I did? I saved this. I didn't glue it, but then I did my stitching and I stitched right over it. Oh goodness. That's funny. I was so proud of myself too. All right. Well, darn it. So, we'll figure something out. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this one down. Good grief. I was doing so well. Glue this. Oh, the dogs are barking. There we go. Glue that there. And we'll glue this one here. Ah, Cara. Make sure I glue it on the right direction. There we go. Okay. So that will go like that. And that'll go like that. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to recover this. So yeah, so I won't see this unless I print this one out again and put this one back on here. But then I think I'm just going to add another page there. That's what I think I will do. But I think I'm just going to have this. I want this kind of a window right here, so I think I'm just going to have this as a pocket. I don't think it's going to flip unless I do. Yeah, this is just gonna glue here like that. All right, so I'm almost there. I'll be back. Okay, let me show you where I'm at. So I covered this middle, and I mean, you can kind of still tell that there's a seam there, but I think it's all right. And then I cut apart the envelope, so I just have the one side with the window, and I think that's gonna look really cute with the lavender poking through. I kind of collaged on top of this with just bits and pieces that I had left over, did a zigzag stitch and then a stitch around the window, and that's going to go right here. So let's glue the 3 sides. I'm a little bummed that I'm going to cover the girl in the picture, but I can always print out the page and use it somewhere else. Alright, so that is going to go there, and then that will be a pocket. We need a little thumb notch. A little more than that. Just a itty bitty one. Okay. And then the other thing I was messing around with, this is too close. So what I'm thinking, and I don't think I'm going to use this, I might use seam binding or fabric or something, but I think I can use this as a closure for also the rest of the folio. So if I go, put it on here, and I go this way and around, and then I can go like this and close it, then that keeps the back of the folio closed as well. And I think I'll remove this, and there'll be a hole, but I think that will be easy enough to cover right here, right? And I don't know, I might have to use wire cutters here. I might have to use wire cutters to get the brad out, since I already put it in there. Or I can leave it and then have something dangle off of that. So let's do that. Let's leave it for now and see if I come up with something. So then that can wrap around. I did stitching on the spine. Words are hard. And that's what that looks like. And then it opens. I just love how it's turning out so far. And then I did the stitching on this guy, so we can glue this pocket down. There's a whole lot of threads going on over here. And then that pocket is ready. And then that folds in. And that folds down, and that can fold up like that. And here is the back. I just love how it's turning out so far. Look at me, I'm just trimming up all the, maybe I don't want all the threads. I definitely don't want them this long. Kind of interfere. All right, so next week, the challenge will be to decorate the folio. And then the third week, the challenge is to make a booklet or mini journal to go inside the folio. So I'm going to make a one signature journal to go inside of the folio. All right. Yay. Don't forget to go grab the freebie and check out Nathalie's channel. And she also has a freebie, and she'll explain how to get hers. And don't forget to check out all the members of the design teams in the links below and get other folio inspiration. And then you can decide what kind of folio you want to make for the challenge. All right. I hope you have a wonderfully crafty day. Thanks. Bye-bye.